Hey friends, Jake here from the Brave and the Boys, and today we have my most celebratory, excited video of all time, and this is Jake harpooned every single one of his whales. So these were all the books I dreamed of owning. I didn't get them all at one time. This was over the course of a year. I would find a good deal, or I would, me and Jess would save up and we would get one, and I slowly but surely caught every one of the absolute whales that I had. So we're gonna go through, talk about why I picked up each book, why it means so much to me, and hopefully encourage you to maybe read one of these books in a different format, or if they ever come back into print, check them out yourself. So I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Organic Price Books. If you're buying 1 or 2 books, you can save $2 on your order with the code Braveboys, or if you're buying 3 or more books, you can use the code Braveboyssit to save 5%. I will earn a small commission, and that helps make these videos and more whale catchings, possible. So thank you guys so much for supporting our channel. It means the world to me and Jordan. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody for making this happen. This is a very excited video for me, and I cannot wait to show you the whales that I harpooned.
Deep within a bleak and dismal swamp, hidden beneath its murky waters, lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time, the Legion of Doom.
Up first, we have Absolute Final Crisis. And yes, they came with the 3D glasses. There is a 3D issue. I can't do it with these glasses on. Oh my god. So, for those of you that know me, you know that I want to collect every DC Crisis in absolute format. At first, I had caught Crisis on Infinite Earths in an amazing bidding war a few years ago, and then I got a copy of Infinite Crisis Absolute Edition from Organic Price Books, and you can watch that video here. So I was missing Final Crisis, which was the last of the Crisis Absolutes. So I have been hunting for it, but I wanted it in a good condition. I didn't want to pay a crazy price. And yes, I wanted it to come with the 3D glasses. I'm petty like that. Final Crisis is an excellent story. It is Grant Morrison's Crisis, and it was, for many of you that know this, my very first DC book that I ever read. So very exciting for me, very happy that I get to own this in a premiere format. Really fun. I will say that I lean towards this over the Omni because a lot of the tie-ins in the Omni aren't as relevant as, say, the Infinite Crisis Omnibus. So I love that I can read one of my favorite stories in the absolute format, and I don't have to read Rogue's Revenge or a bunch of other tie-ins that I'm not as a fan of. So all I need left is for DC to come out with a Crisis in Time Absolute, and then I will own every DC Crisis in absolute format. Let's jump to the next one. Next up, we have Absolute Day Tripper by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba. Now, this was one I got very lucky on, and the online community helped me out. So Absolute Day Tripper was never really one that I longed for a long time. Omar did his 2023 video of his top 10 absolutes, and if you want to see his top 10 absolutes, you can watch that video here. Or if you want to see our top 10 video of absolutes, you can watch that right here. But he talked about Day Tripper and how special the story was, and I fell in love with it without ever reading it. Day Tripper is a very special book because one thing about it is I almost feel like a better person after I finished reading it. It chronicles the story of one man's life, and I want to be big on not giving any spoilers here because you just gotta dive in. But essentially, he is an obituary writer. Someone that writes about people that have passed away and about their life. And you get to see different snippets of his life. You get to see moments of his life from childhood to adulthood to being elderly, and they're little slice of life moments of his life. And you get to see relationships that ebb and flow, his relationship with his father, his relationship with his kids, and it's just an amazing story. Usually I love absolutes for their amazing action, but this was one that was a quieter tale, and I definitely think everyone should read it. So I want to give a huge shout out to Cheap Graphic Novels because maybe they found a box in their warehouse and they had like 100 left, and I was able to snag it, and I'm very grateful because this was one that I cannot imagine not being in my collection now. I think you should all go read it. It's available in some other formats, and I would love to hear your thoughts on Day Tripper. Okay, so I'm sure many of you know the ups and downs of my attempts to get Absolute Justice. So I tried to get this book 3 different times. Justice was a book that I knew I wanted ever since it was recommended to me by OmniDog. Any Alex Ross book deserves the absolute treatment because his art is just so grandiose and amazing. The first time I bought it, I accidentally wound up buying Justice League World's Greatest Superheroes, which is actually coming back into print and was a very happy accident. It's a collection of one-shot tales from the different heroes, and I love them. The Superman one is amazing, but I think the Batman one is the most important. You get Batman helping a kid break the cycle of violence, and it's just amazing, and it's all hand-painted and incredible. The second time I tried to buy Justice, I thought I was getting a good deal. I got this horrible stolen from a library copy. It smells like cigarettes. I don't know what to do with this. If someone wants this and is willing to pay for the shipping, I'll send it to you for free. But it has the library sticker on the back. It doesn't have a slipcase. And needless to say, I got my money back. After that, I said, you know what? I'm just going to get the deluxe edition. I'll be happy with the deluxe edition. So I am happy to own that. But finally, after I swore off buying books, after I said I was done and I was gonna save for the wedding, I get a text from Jess from OmniDog, and he said, I found Justice, it's sealed, it's below cover. And I was like, okay. I mean, at that point, I had to buy it, you know? So I finally owned Justice. I gotta read it, it's amazing. It starts off with this apocalyptic tale of like the world ending. A lot of people are having this dream of the world ending, and that's all I'm gonna tell you, because you got to see how they save the world, and it is amazing. Alex Ross art. I mean, you got to get this, you got to get this, you got to get Kingdom Come. I mean, every Alex Ross book should be an absolute. I'm very happy to own it. Someone please take this off my hand. And guys, when this comes back into print, you got to check it out. Let's dive into the next one. Next up, we have Batman the Black Mirror by Scott Snyder and Jock. And it was a story that I read recently. As I was flying back from Washington, I finally read Black Mirror, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it. I think it's because I really like reading books physically, and there wasn't a deluxe, but there is one coming out next year, and the Absolute was long out of print. But I mean, it's a story of Dick Grayson, Nightwing, as Batman, and you guys know how much I love Dick Grayson. I mean, I named my cat Grayson. So, yeah, I don't know why I didn't read the story sooner. It's amazing. It's an incredible mystery. You get some awesome action. You get to see some cool villains pop up. And Black Mirror was just a story that as soon as I read it, I was like, shoot, guess I'll have to save up and get the Absolute of that one. So I'm going to take full responsibility for the deluxe getting announced, because they announced the deluxe right after I sprung for the Absolute. So you're welcome. That being said, the art from both artists in this book are incredible. I thought the whole book was Jock, and I was wrong, because eventually the art does switch styles. But yeah, Black Mirror, incredible story. You get to see my favorite character, Dick Grayson, be Batman, and I love Dick Grayson as Batman. So this is an incredible story. What I really like about it is there's a parallel between Dick Grayson being the son of Batman and James Gordon being the son of Jim Gordon. So you kind of have these two sons on opposite sides, and the way that they interact with the world and the way that they grew up, and it's just this really incredible tale, this incredible mystery. Got some almost like, I mean, so there's like a serial killer in it, like it gets some good, like, you know, horror in it almost a little bit, and I think it's an incredible story. I think everyone should read it and go check out that deluxe next year when it comes out. Now let's move on to a Batman story with Bruce Wayne. So when I first started getting serious about collecting DC books, Long Halloween Absolute was still in print, as was Haunted Night. But Dark Victory has been out of print my entire time collecting comics, and I had been looking at prices of Dark Victory and prices of getting the set, and I knew I could never afford it. I was, you know, I was a lot broker back then, and I remember the fateful day I said, you know what? I will buy a Superman Absolute, All-Star Superman, and I will buy the omnibus of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. And that was the way I could, you know, save money. The way I looked at it, I was like, I'm saving so much money getting the omnibus by not getting all three Absolutes. And I love that omnibus. I love these stories. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale is one of my favorite duos in comics. I love them. I mean, their Superman work and For All Seasons is great. You can watch that video here. But I always wanted the Absolutes. And then eventually this went out of print. And then this went out of print. And I just was, I always longed for them. But slowly and surely, I got them. So these two I got on eBay. I finally found someone that was selling a price that I could afford, and I got this one from Organic Price Books, so shouts out to JP. So what makes these books so special? These are going to be early stories in Batman's career. The Long Halloween is going to follow a killer known as the Holiday Killer who kills someone on every holiday, and it's a great investigation. You get to see the creation of Two-Face, and you get to really see the creation of Batman's rogues galleries and kind of the switch from Batman fighting the mob to fighting costume freaks with powers. Dark Victory is the sequel, and it's going to be the introduction of Dick Grayson, who is my favorite DC character. It has my favorite panel. It's going to be where Dick Grayson's parents get killed and everyone else leaves the circus, and you just see Bruce Wayne up in the seats looking down at Dick Grayson, understanding, being the only person who can understand what Dick Grayson is going through. And the fact that Dick Grayson rises above it and he gets to become Robin and he gets to be fun and light and bring this light into Bruce's world, I think is amazing. Haunted Night is going to include Haunted Night as well as the Catwoman When in Rome storylines. Gotta be honest, I think technically you read like the first half of this, then you read this, then you read this, then you read the Catwoman stories in here. I think Haunted Night's alright. I almost told myself, you know what, I wasn't really going to even collect it, but of course I was. I had to get all three. But Haunted Night is still good. The Catwoman When in Rome story is still good. You get the amazing Jeff Loeb stories, you get the amazing Tim Sale art, but for me, Long Halloween and Dark Victory are the ones that I'm just absolutely in love with. So I'm very happy, and now I'm excited to tell you guys my number one absolute that I cannot believe I own. And finally, we have the big one. So for those of you who are my friends who've been following along with this, you know that my wife, at the time I'm recording this, she's my fiance, but by the time this video comes out, she'll be my wife. Still crazy to say. I'm so lucky. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. She made me a deal. She said, if you can go 1 year of not drinking alcohol, because for the guys who don't know, I am sober, you can have your number one whale. I'll buy it, I'll keep it hidden away, and you'll get it after you hit a year sober. So guys, I did it. I've been sober longer than a year now. I have no plans on drinking again. So I have so many blessings in my life from not drinking. And yes, I call this a blessing, but the other things of like being happier, having better relationships, getting better grades, being in better shape, you know, are better blessings. But kind of hard to top the blessing of JLA Avengers Absolute. So this was a book that I don't know if they'll ever reprint. The most recent time that this story was ever in print was with the Heroes Initiative trade paperback to raise money for George Perez, who sadly passed away. But this was a book that I always dreamed of owning. I never thought it would ever be in my collection. I never thought I would get to own this book. And the fact that the love of my life bought it for me as a prize for my commitment to staying sober means the world to me. So this is a really exciting book. I love it. I bought Jordan a copy of the trade paperback for his birthday, so I can't wait to have a video come out where the two of us talk about why we love this story so much. And the art, the George Perez art is just absolutely incredible. Like if you think Crisis, he went above and beyond, this he went above and beyond. It comes with this cool compendium. Haven't checked out the compendium yet, but I think it's always cool when books come with that. Like, I am truly grateful not only for this book, but for an amazing wife that would make this deal with me. So I want to thank all of you guys so much for supporting me. I couldn't do it without your encouraging words from a lot of you, and I'm just very, very lucky. Let's jump into my final thoughts. And guys, that's going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was fun for you guys. At first I was like, is this weird to film? But I was like, no, this is an amazing community, and I'm sure you guys were excited for me that I was able to conquer my whales. You know, a lot of it was for help from the community, so thank you guys all so much. I want to give one more shout out to Organic Price Books. You can buy 1 or 2 books and save $2 with the code Braveboys, or if you're buying 3 or more books, you can save 5% with the code Braveboyssit. I also want to give a shout out to our Discord. It's linked down below. Come hang out with us. We have a whole leveling up system. I'm level 10 or whatever level I am by the time of this video coming out. I want to give a huge thank you to my wife at the time of this video. She'll be my wife for allowing me to collect these. I know this is insanity and madness, but thank you so much. And I want to tell you guys, you know, from the bottom of my heart, how grateful I am for this channel and for the viewers that we have on this channel. If you guys like this video, smash the like button, comment down below what your whale is, and I'll do my best to help you guys track it down. And keep reading and stay brave.